Hello, everybody, and this is our day number 4 in the unit 10. I hope you could enjoy the last activity, which was a tongue twisters, and also the exercise with the H and letter R as a short review. Okay, so for today, can you imagine what is the activity we are going to perform? Yes, exactly. So we are going to start with our conversations of unit, okay? But this time, let me tell you that dynamic is going to change a little. In which sense? So let me show you what we have for today, okay? So the activity is going to be quite different, okay? First of all, I need you study and you could observe this dialogue, which is short. We have 2 dialogues. One is a little longer and there is another that have 2 parts, okay? The other one has 2 parts. Very good. So we are going to take some minutes, specifically 2 minutes, to ponder and reflect on this conversation before start practicing our speaking and pronunciation. Okay, so let's take 2 minutes to read, to get familiar with the vocabulary, of course, and to clarify different ideas you have maybe. In this case, you can use a dictionary, okay, an online dictionary, in case you don't know any of these words. Okay, so we are going to take 2 minutes for this, and then we are going to return. Yes, this is conversation. This is the conversation that is connected with our topic of the unit. Okay, let's see what we have next. This is even shorter. Yes, this is even shorter than the other one. Okay, so let's continue reading, and then we are going to pass to the next part of this conversation number 2. So we are going to take 1 minute for this. Okay, so let's check the last and second part of the conversation number 2. As you see, there are different words that are highlighted. Okay, so if you can recognize what are those words, we are in the good track. Okay, so let's take 1 minute. Excellent, very good. So we are going to return to the conversation number 1. Okay, so now we are going to practice our second conversation, which is divided in 2 parts. Okay, so again, you repeat after me, keeping in mind the 4 different sounds we studied before. Okay, let's start. Good morning. How may I help you? So this time we are going to start practicing our second conversation, which is divided in 2 parts. Okay, so I need you to repeat after me, of course, keeping in mind the 4 different sounds we previously taught. Good morning. How may I help you, sir? Repeat. Your ID card, please, and certificate of vaccination. For sure. I would like to make a transaction, specifically an interbank transfer. Just in case, official. What is the Korean currency? Because my brother lives there and I also want to transfer him some money. Sir, for further information, there is an agent at the bank teller to support you. In the second floor, there is a There is a Q. Okay, for this second conversation, we are going to practice the same dynamic, okay? But remember that the second conversation is divided in two parts. So in this activity, you listen and repeat after me, keeping in mind again the 4 different sounds we studied previously. Okay, let's get started. Good morning. How may I help you, sir? Okay, your ID card, please, and certificate of vaccination. For sure, I would like to make a transaction, specifically an interbank transfer. Just in case, official, what is a Korean currency? Because my brother lives there and I also want to transfer him some money. Good. Sir, for further information, there is an agent at the bank teller to support you. In the second floor, you need to queue and wait for your turn. Thank you. Very good. Exactly. We have different T sounds in this part, no? As you see. Okay, T sounds and R sounds, and some maybe TH combinations. Yes, of course. Okay, let's see to the last and second part of the second conversation. At the bank teller. Good morning and welcome to ABC Banks. What is your inquiry? Yes, miss. I would like to make a transaction of $850 to Korea. Could you tell me what is the currency there? Of course. The currency is the won. First, I need you to fill out this form with information required. All right. How much is that? In wons, I mean. It's just over 1,000 wons. Okay. Would you like to make another transaction? That's it. Thank you. Don't forget your voucher. Very good. Now it's time to start practicing and play roles with your partners. Okay, so first you start with the conversation number 1, and then you can switch roles in the conversation number 2. Okay, remember that part of this activity is try to pronounce correctly the letters we study so far. I mean until now. Okay, letter R, TH combination, letter T, and link words. Okay, so that is the objective of this activity. So let's start practicing in first. Do you remember that you can switch roles in the second conversation? We had a conversation number 1 and the conversation number 2, which is divided in 2 parts. Okay, so let's start practicing. And for this practice, we are going to take 10 minutes. So now we start working on this activity. Of course, this activity is going to be in pairs with your peer partner. This is the time we are going to change this activity because in the previous unit, you usually listen an audio, practice your pronunciation, the sounds of specific letters, and then you start listening again and complete the exercises, no? But this time we are going to do the opposite. In which sense? So we have here, it's time to identify all the elements in a conversation. What are all the elements that compose or take part of the conversations we previously read? For example, we use vocabulary, verbs, expressions, and idioms. Okay, so what do you need to do for this activity? You are going to analyze in pairs with your partner. You are going to analyze the two conversations and start identifying these 4 points: vocabulary, verbs, expressions, and idioms. You are going to start identifying. If you want, if you prefer, you can take notes in a piece of paper of your answers. I mean, if you identify the vocabulary used in unit, you start writing the vocabulary in parts. If you identify maybe some idioms, you can start again writing down your ideas in a piece of paper. Okay? And then when you finish, you exchange your ideas with your partner. Okay, share your ideas and start discussing about what you have. Compare your answers. Okay, so for this activity, first you need to analyze, and you take 7 minutes to analyze the first activity, which is this, and the second one. The first, okay, you analyze the first conversation for 7 minutes, start copying or you're taking notes, and then you start analyzing the second conversation for 7 more minutes, okay? And when you finish, you start discussing with your partner and comparing your answers for around 5 minutes. So we are going to take this and let's start analyzing. Good job, my friends. For the last part of this activity, we are going to do our usual activity, which is listen again, listen this audio again, and start filling with all the different aspects we considered in the previous analysis. Okay. For example, you need to fill these spaces in blank with the different ideas you could identify, of course. In these ideas are included these 4 points: vocabulary, verbs, expressions, and idioms. Okay, so you have all the conversations, number 1 and number 2, and you can start completing this activity individually. Okay, so when you finish, it's important that you think in this question. What have you learned so far? When you finish this activity, you respond to this question. What have you learned so far? Okay, so with this preparation, we are ready for the day Friday, or the day number 5. Okay, my friends? So my friends, thank you for today's participation and see you in our day number 5.